Anthony Hartwig here with another basketball season preview on the girls' side. This time we're in Springfield with the head coach, John Matisi. Coach, thanks for coming on and talking to us about your team.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so let's just, before we get into all the exciting stuff about this year, let's just recap a little bit last year. What were some of the things that you think returning players can really take away from the experiences of last year?
Well, we have four returning starters, which is a good thing. We have, we were talking the other day. These seniors have played 17 tournament games in their first 3 years of their careers, which is an insane number. So they're a group that's almost played a whole extra season. I feel like they're ready for anything that anybody could throw at them, whether it's a press, whether it's a new defense, whether it's whatever it is, they're ready for the challenge, and they're definitely.
So let's go into this roster that you're going to put on the court this year. A lot of familiar faces, like you said, four returning starters and a lot of players that we know. So go over the roster. Maybe there's some new faces as well that we need to know before the season starts.
Yeah, definitely. We have 7 total returning letter winners. Yeah, like we said, starts with our seniors. Jamaica Brungard is the defending MVAC Player of the Year. We have returning starters Mariana Toscano, who's a first teamer in the league last year, among other honors. Kerrigan Mullen, who was second team, and Kendall Mon, who was honorable mention. So those are our 4 seniors. Um, we expect them all to take a little bit of a step here. We're shooting the ball pretty well here this preseason. We need them to step in and fill in the shoes of the senior we lost last year. So we're counting on them. Juniors coming back for us at Leonard last year. Marin Winkler, who had a great tournament run, really helped us in the district level and regional level. Um, has been good. Reagan Rogensky put in a lot of time this summer, a lot of time this preseason. Is playing tremendous. Those two have really taken a leap from sophomore to junior year. And then Christina Vecchione will be a sophomore. She lettered last year as a freshman. Um, Another Vecchione on the team. We expect her to get, a significant amount of minutes here, and be able to help us off the bench. Um, we do have 2 other juniors that I expect to be in the mix. Olivia Phillips, Afton Douglas. Um, who have been around the program, who kind of know what we expect, who are able to jump in and just kind of, pick up right where things left off. You don't really have to give them much instruction. Other sophomore, Ali Guerrero, is another kid that, is coach's kid, always knows what she's supposed to be doing. Very smart basketball player on the floor. And then, 2 freshmen, McKenna Weimer, who, is pretty good. She might help us depending on how quickly she can progress. And Berkeley Corey rounds out our group.
This question might scare a lot of the people that play you all every year, but what ways do you think the returning player of the year, Jamaica Brungard, can get even better and step into a bigger shoes and a bigger role?
We've already challenged her. She's going to have to handle the ball some. Losing our point guard from last year, we have 4 coming back, but you lose that kid that had the ball in their hands a lot of the time. It always can be kind of sketchy. So, we think Reagan's going to be able to step in and fill her shoes, but it's going to be, it's probably going to be a little more by committee this year than it has been the past couple of years. And she's going to be somebody that's going to have to handle the ball at the elbows, have to handle it out front, be able to be a passer. She shoots the ball as well as anybody from the outside. She hasn't been asked to do it the last few years, but we're putting our faith in her to shoot threes, to get to the basket. We really want the ball in her hands.
You talked about the amount of games and especially tournament games this senior class has played this year. I mean, talking about building for future years, what kind of things are you seeing these seniors do to build leaders of the future? What kind of leadership are you getting out of these 4 seniors?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. They've never. I wouldn't say they have been vocal leaders. We've always had strong seniors, going back to even our first year. I feel like every year we've had a pretty good senior class that have really kind of run the show, and so they've always kind of been able to be the secondary players. They've been able to be the role players. They've been able to just kind of show up and now this year it is on them. Yesterday, a couple days ago, we had one of our seniors. We're doing a drill. We already kind of got yelled at for not counting in our previous drill, and she stopped everything before the drill started. Hey, everybody, we got to count. Let's go. And they're being vocal. Everybody's kind of stepping up and just kind of showing the younger kids how we want to play and what it takes to be as successful as we've been.
You obviously had that target on your back in the MVAC just like last year. So let's talk about the conference this year and your schedule and what kind of things stand out to you in the MVAC this year, how you see it shaking out.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty similar to last year. We split with Ridge. They were two very exciting games, two close games, and I wouldn't expect that to be different. They also only lost one, so it's going to be one of those things: who can make the more plays, who can make the most shots. They're going to get up and pressure. They want to get out and run. So that'll be two. I expect two battles with them. Obviously, Western Reserve, we beat them twice by a point last year, so it's going to be, those games are always battles. Also, Coach Miller will have them ready for us, and they know everything that we want to do. They're going to have us scouted, and it's just going to be, again, who executes the best. Other teams in the league, I would expect Jackson Milton to be improved, even off of last year's team. They had a double-digit win season, which was tremendous. I expect them to be another year older here with some of their young kids. McDonald has a new coach. We'll see, who they get out. They have some good athletes in that school. Lowville always plays us tough. They had us down last year, one time where we really had to scrape and claw to get back. And then, Camel's new. Sebring's been there. So, you got to be ready to play every night.
Yeah, and there's a lot on the line when it comes to conference games. But then when you go out of conference, it's all about getting yourself ready for that postseason. Not as much pressure. Of course, you want to win every game you play, but it's not. You don't have conference championships on the line when you're playing non-conference. Who are some of those teams that pop up outside of the MVAC that you're excited to kind of test yourself with and sharpen your teeth with for postseason?
Yeah, well, testing ourselves is the operative phrase there. I was looking today, our first four non-conference games, if Columbiana, Crestview, Poland, and Rootstown, three of those four teams were 20-game winners last year. All four of them won their league year. I mean, that's obviously a tremendous challenge. I would expect those four to be favorites or co-favorites in their leagues again this year. Moving into the end of December, we have JFK and Walsh in the South Range Holiday Tournament. So, tremendous competition there. And then, towards the end of the season, we got to go down to Salem, who beat us up last year. Is going to be a good tournament tune-up. And then big rivalry game with South Range, a team that beat us last year. So, there isn't a gimme in that group, but we will definitely be tested when we get to the end of the year.
But we're talking about this schedule, and you still have about a week of practice left before you get it started with the season. What's on the checklist? What are some things that you want to accomplish in the last practices and scrimmages before game one?
You go through. We have enough practice plans now where you can kind of look at the previous year and see what you were doing that week or that day. Just try to hit everything. We over the tip. We want to play our offensive tip, our defensive tip. To start a game, we haven't gone over our pregame warm up yet. We just did free throw box out review the other day, so it is kind of a checklist of, make sure we talk about it, make sure we hit everything, so we know what we're doing. Obviously the start of the practice, you just want to get in condition. You want to get your core stuff in. Your building block stuff. You do your shell drill, you do your base offenses, and now this is when you fine tune stuff. You throw in, we're working on a little bit of zone now. We're working on just your more exotic stuff as you get closer to the season.
We've talked about all the players that you've returned this year, even the letter winners, 7 returning letter winners. In what ways do you think this team will still be able to be a little bit different and maybe do things that last year's team wasn't able to do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've really stressed everybody being a threat, everybody being ready to score, really encouraging them to shoot the ball more. Um, not that they defer to Jamaica too much, but it's just something where, we get into games against harder teams that have us scouted real well, and it's harder to score. And I think that regional final game last year against Loudonville kind of left a bad taste in all of our mouths, only scoring 14 points, them really shutting us down. And so, we spent this summer on offensive skills. We spent a lot of this preseason on just getting our other guards looking to attack, being offensive minded, being ready to shoot the ball, really going hard to the basket, opening things up on the inside for Jamaica maybe a little more. And we got to score more. And so that's kind of been the focus this year. On top of our good defense, we just have to find a way to, get to the 50s consistently. We only averaged 45 points a game last year, and do it against the better competition that we see.
Coach, you've been a part of these previews before. You know that we end it with the chance for you to shout out the people behind you, the people that are working with you from the bottom up that are really making this Springfield program what it is. Talk about your staff and the people that you have working with you at Springfield.
Yeah, staff. It obviously starts with my brother Zach. He's been with me all from the start, and he's invaluable. I know if there's anything else I can say after 3-4 years of building him up on here, but he just does everything that I can't do. He is the energy guy. He gets the kids going, so he's invaluable to us. We have a new athletic director this year, Coach Guerrero, who it's amazing he's been able to be as involved and as attentive as he has been, getting us everything we need while he's still, in season. They're playing in a regional tonight. So, he's been tremendous. Our junior high coaches we've had the last couple of years now, Coach Kohler, Coach Porch, just being able to keep that continuity with them so the kids kind of know what to expect. They see them every year. But it's everybody in the school, just getting to the school yesterday, talking to one of the custodian, Dana, they got our code set up for the other gym, and it's something you don't have to ask them about. We have Coach Kelly Page, who's doing our lifting this year, who coaches the track team, and she just does it. You don't have to ask. They just volunteer their time. It kind of takes everybody to have the success that we've had from top to bottom, and those are just some of the many people that have helped us out.
I'm sure Zach will text you a little bit later and tell you some things that you should have said about him. Hey, what about this? Gotta love coaching with your brother, Coach. One of the things that we're so excited about is the first game. So shout out the first game, the first time the Tiger fans can come out and see you guys in action.
Yeah, we are scheduled Friday the 22nd, I believe, against Columbiana. That is subject to change. If our football does win, we will have to move that game, probably bump it to the next day, that Saturday. So that, but right now, we're looking forward to Columbiana again, a team that beat us last year, just getting out on the floor and seeing good competition.
Coach, we want to wish you the best of luck this year. We always love having you on. We will be out there covering you all year like we always are. We look forward to seeing you out there. Good luck this year. And once again, we'll see you again real soon.
All right. Thanks, Anthony.